We're now going to look at Module 4 of Chapter 9, other option price relationships. So we'll look at some relationships beyond put-call parity, and many of them will be apparent and some may not. First of all, an American option versus a European option. Well, what do these terms mean? If they have the same expiry, capital T, well, the American has to be worth at least as much as the European, because the American can be exercised any time up to including time T. The European can only be exercised at time T. So the American has to be at least as valuable as the European option. That's because you have more optionality. So we have this first, what you might think of as being fairly obvious relationships, that the American call, the price has to be at least as great as a European call, and an American put has to have a price at least as great. Again, it simply has more optionality. It includes the optionality of the European, plus it gives you additional optionality. Option prices also have natural boundaries. So we'll look at the call first, then the put. First of all, a call option price cannot be negative. To have a negative price on a call would mean when you went long a call, somebody paid you to do so. Well, that would make no sense in the market, to be paid to have the option to buy a stock only when it's in your interest to do so. So it cannot be negative. We also see that an American option cannot exceed the stock price. An American call gives you the right at any time to buy the stock for K. Well, if K were equal to a penny, the value of that American call would be very close to the value of the stock, because you have the right to buy that stock for a penny, and therefore that American call should be worth pretty close to the price of the stock, but it can't be worth more than the price of the stock. So we start with the value of the stock must be greater than the value of an American call. We already know that that's greater than or equal to the value of a European call. Finally, we have a lower bound on the value of a European call from put-call parity. You recall that put-call parity said that the value of a European call is the value of a European put plus the present value, which we'll call it the forward price, the prepaid forward price of S minus the prepaid forward price of K. And so, what's a lower bound for C? Well, the smallest C can get is when P is 0. So if we make P 0, we see that that's a lower bound for the value of C. So C has to be greater than or equal to, and of course, again, it has to be greater than 0, greater than or equal to the relationship between these prepaid forwards. We have a comparable set of boundaries for put options. First of all, an American put, the value of which has to be less than the strike. An American put allows you to sell a stock for K dollars anytime. So that can't be worth more than K. When the stock price gets close to 0 and you have the right to sell it for K, the profit you make is nearly K dollars. But it can't be more than K dollars. So the American put cannot exceed the price of an American put cannot be greater than K. We already saw that the American is greater than or equal to the European. And then finally, we go back to the put-call parity. We just changed the signs. It's the same argument.